All right, and the next fight up on the card is a battle in the lightweight division between the returning Mike Beast Boy Davis, who comes into this fight with a record of 9 victories and 2 defeats, going up against the Team Alpha Male standout and tremendous boxer in Viacheslav Borshchev, who comes into the fight with a record of 6 victories and 2 defeats. This is a great fight too. Like, I'm really excited for this one. In particular, I think that Davis and Borshchev could easily fight for your fight of the night. Mike Davis has been gone for a long time. He hasn't fought since 2020 in terms of his UFC career. He's 9-2, 7 wins by knockout, 1 submission, and 1 decision. His only losses coming by submission and decision, never been knocked out before. His last fight came in January 20th, 2021. So it's over 2 years, or over a year, almost 2 years, since we've seen Mike Davis inside the cage. The UFC on ESPN 20, Chiesa versus Magny. Mike Davis actually won the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts. I believe it was in 2019. Let me check that out for you because I want to make sure that's correct. Tiger Muay Thai. Yeah, 2019 Tiger Muay Thai tryouts. Now, if you go on YouTube and look that up, which is anybody who's a casual or hardcore fan of MMA, if you want to go and watch some crazy, grueling MMA training and Muay Thai training, go check out the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts. Now, on my podcast, I've actually interviewed 2 coaches from Tiger Muay Thai and the Hickman brothers, George and Frank Hickman. If you haven't checked those interviews out, I would definitely recommend that you go back and look at those interviews, because the recent fighter who just fought in Loma Lukbunmi, who just got that victory at the last fight night, she is Frank Hickman's, was it George or, no, I was right originally, man, I can't even think. She is George Hickman's, like, pride and joy. That's like his pupil, is Loma Lukbunmi. And if you look at the way that she fights, she's very, very solid in the way that she throws her Muay Thai techniques. She's got good teep kicks, good round kicks, mixes up her combos well, good at striking off the break and everything like that. Go back and listen to my interview with George and Frank Hickman. They were done pretty close in proximity to each other last year, I believe. I believe it was at the end of 2021 when I got those interviews done. If not, it was early 2022. And I'll probably post them up on my social media if you haven't gotten the chance to check those out. But Mike Beast Boy Davis, I believe he was a former amateur boxer and, used to train out at the with Customato and work on his boxing, which, if you know boxing, you know who Customato is. But he's a very solid striker. And he went into the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts kind of as an unknown and came out as a winner and got that free training for a year at Tiger Muay Thai. And man, you watch his fight against Mason Jones, which is the last fight he competed, or the last fight he had in his MMA career. That was a back and forth brawl, man. I mean, they went to war with each other. But the thing I noticed that was so good about Mike Davis and so effective is his left hook to the body followed up by the straight right hand. He's very, very solid at dipping off with that 3 to the body and then coming in with either a straight right or an overhand right. And that combination was landing for him a lot. And then he would switch it up and go lead uppercut, which is a 5 to the cross behind it. So it was left hook to the body, right hand, lead uppercut, right hand. He's very good at timing that and then eventually pairing that up with a question mark kick. He can go 1-2, question mark kick off the rear leg, cross lead, question mark kick off the lead leg. Davis is a dangerous striker. He's very fast. He has decent defense, but I think if you play around for too long against Viacheslav Borshchev on the feet with his technical boxing, I think it could cause Mike Davis some problems, because we see that a lot of the times it's not a traditional high guard from Mike Davis. It's a lot of head movement. He's trying to slip, roll, pull back, and come back on the counter. And he's very effective at it, and he's got very good eyes for a mixed martial artist. He sees everything that comes at him and then times his counters off of the way that he throws. I mean, you see him go 1-2, step into southpaw, lead, or a rear left knee, go back to orthodox, jab, left hook, right low kick, jab, right body kick. I mean, he mixes up his combos, and he's got power in every strike that he throws, which explains why he's got 7 wins out of the 9 coming by way of KO. But Viacheslav Borshchev, I would definitely say that he is the more technical boxer. I think Davis has a speed advantage, but I think when it comes to the overall striking technique, I think that Borshchev is a little bit more effective when it comes to the sharpness in his hands. He's got 6 wins, 2 losses. 5 of those 6 wins come by way of KO. Recently, he got that knockout victory with that left body shot, or I believe it was a right body shot, up against the cage against Dakota Bush. Before that, he had a knockout victory on the Contender Series over Chris Duncan. And then in his most recent fight in the UFC, he lost a decision to Mark Diakiese. And in that fight, along with the Dakota Bush fight, you notice that for as effective as Viacheslav Borshchev is on the feet, with his boxing, with his lateral movement, with his ability to move left and right and set up his combinations either moving forward or moving backwards with the check left hook, like he caught the guy on the Contender Series with, he has very, very suspect takedown defense, and I think that Mike Davis is going to want to fight this on the feet, but he's a very intelligent fighter. Even though I've only seen him fight a few times, he's a very intelligent guy, and I think that his wrestling and takedowns in the midst of a firefight is what can carry him to get a win here against Borshchev, because Borshchev's takedown defense is not good at all. I mean, if you look at his stats on the takedown defense, I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Here we go. UFC stats. He's got a takedown defense of 37%. 37% takedown defense against Mike Davis, who we saw was able to take down Mason Jones, who's a very good grappler, good offensive and defensive wrestling, good offensive and defensive jiu-jitsu. I mean, even if you're able to get those takedowns against Mason Jones, I think that that's going to be a lot easier to get those takedowns against Borshchev. Now, Borshchev could have been working on his takedowns after that Mark Diakiese fight. I expect that he was working on his takedowns a lot, or takedown defense. But the thing is, he gets taken down very easily. Even in the fight against Dakota Bush that ended at 3 minutes and 47 seconds of the first round, he got taken down twice in that first round. And they were very easy takedowns for Dakota Bush to get. And I think with the forward pressure of a Viacheslav Borshchev or backing up, I think in the midst of those striking combinations with the speed that Davis employs, he can mix up the striking and the grappling and start to get those takedowns early and often. And I think we could see a similar fight to the Mark Diakiese fight, where he uses that wrestling, uses that top control, and seriously outworks Borshchev when it comes to the grappling. I think that, like I said, Borshchev is the better boxer, so Mike Davis has to be careful defensively, because I think it is possible that he gets into an exchange and runs into a left hook, runs into the right hand, runs into the left kick of Borshchev and gets hurt. I think that there is a possibility that Borshchev can get a knockout here, especially if Davis is rushing forward, because he does have decent defense, but we've seen him get caught in the midst of exchanges. And, you know, it's not the first or second shot that catches Mike Davis. It's the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth shot in a combination that catches him as he's trying to move his head and get the timing. I think that could be a problem, but I also think Davis is so solid with mixing up the hands, the knees, the elbows, the kicks, you know, question mark kicks, knees, 1-2s, the left hook to the body, the right hand, and his footwork and movement is so effective that I think that it's going to be very hard for Borshchev to find that distance and find that range and catch Mike Davis on the chin. And I think the grappling, the ineffective grappling and the suspect takedown defense of Borshchev is going to be a big problem for him here against Davis, because I know Davis can mix up the striking and the grappling pretty effectively and maybe get those takedowns at points where Borshchev isn't expecting them, so they come a lot easier. Even though his takedown defense is only at a 37%, I think that Davis can mix it up and really get those takedowns early and often to seal a decision on the judges' scorecards. I don't think either of these guys are going to get knocked out, but if they stand and strike and there is no wrestling between the two, I think that either of them could get caught, but I expect it to be a full mixed martial arts style of fight, and I expect Mike Davis to fight like a true mixed martial artist, get those takedowns, you know, use that speed with that left hook to the body, right hand, the 1-2, the question mark kicks. I think we're going to see a lot of front kicks to the body from Mike Beast Boy Davis, but that wrestling and grappling is what's going to seal him those rounds in a close fight on the feet. But I do edge Mike Davis out on the feet as well, because he uses more weapons with the elbows, the question mark kicks, the front kicks, the inside and outside low kicks. I think he just has more weapons, and he's definitely a more effective grappler. So I'm going to go with Mike Beast Boy Davis to defeat Viacheslav Borshchev via a 29-28 unanimous decision. I think it'll be a close fight, but I think it'll be pretty clear cut that Mike Davis gets the win here. You know, first fight back in almost 2 years, but I think he's going to show out here. And I'm very excited for the future when it comes to Mike Davis. I think that he's definitely going to be a guy to look out for in terms of his mixed martial arts career and his career inside the UFC. You look at the odds, you have Mike Davis as a slight -170 to a +145 for Borshchev. Some places have Mike Davis as a -200 to a +155 for Viacheslav Borshchev. I think the favorite here in Mike Davis is a definite parlay piece for the week. I think that in terms of making parlays for this week overall, I think that Davis is definitely a lock in terms of your parlays. He's a good money line bet. I think it also is a good bet to wait for the line to come out and see what fight goes the distance is marked at, because maybe you feel like Borshchev's power can be a problem for Davis on the feet in terms of his boxing, and he can catch him coming in. Then maybe you want to take fight goes the distance. I know both these guys are finishers, but I think they're both well-rounded enough to the point where it's probably going to go the 15-minute distance. So my overall pick is Mike Beast Boy Davis as the slight -170 to -190 favorite to defeat Viacheslav Borshchev via a 29-28 unanimous decision. He's currently marked at -175 on Caesar Sportsbook, but I am going to side with Beast Boy here over Viacheslav in a 15-minute fight.